Welcome everybody to Red Dead Redemption Week.
Bobby, don't you mean Pixel Peak?
Nope.
Alright, I'll do it myself then. Welcome everybody to Pixel Peak.
As always, we've got a big old stack of news stories heading your way, including one of the most time-consuming achievements ever finally being unlocked, and an update about Walking Dead from Skybound Games.
Then we'll welcome PC analyst Walker Peters to the show to talk about Discord's new digital game store, what it is trying to achieve, and how it will impact the overall industry in this week's analysis.
In case you somehow haven't heard, Call of Duty Black Ops 4 was recently released, and reviewer Logan Berg has the in-depth review you've been waiting for on the newest game from Treyarch.
And then to close, our editorial addresses the future of cloud gaming. Is it here to stay? And if so, how long until it's a real option for everyone? Stay tuned to find out.
The sooner we get through this, the sooner I can get back to watching Red Dead Redemption footage, so let's get going. I'm Bobby Eggins.
I'm Kristen Lawrence, and we hope you enjoy your stay here on Pixel Peak.
The war on crunch continued this week as Rockstar co-founder Dan Houser more or less put his foot in his mouth on October 15th. When trying to contextualize how hard Rockstar employees had been working on this month's upcoming Western title, Red Dead Redemption 2, Houser mentioned that people had been working up to 100-hour weeks on the project. Given the current climate around crunch and workplace conditions in the games industry, the developer was absolutely lambasted both in the news and on social media last week. In response to the kickback, Houser later clarified his original statements, saying that it was only him and a small team of senior employees that partook in these absurdly long work weeks, and if other employees experienced that kind of time commitment, they did so of their own volition. In an act of damage control, Rockstar allowed its employees to speak on their experiences on social media last week, where a few refuted these reports and suggested that their work weeks were rarely as strenuous. Rockstar also gave workweek statistics from this year to The Guardian that showed that the average weekly work time throughout the studio was somewhere between 42.4 and 45.8 hours, but during the studio's busiest week this year, 20% of employees reported working 60 hours or more.
In more positive news, Sega announced in a financial report last week that it had eliminated 80% of long overtime hours in 4 of its development studios: Sega Games, Sega Entertainment, TMS Entertainment, and Sega Toys. The report reads, the main focus of the group's work style reform is the achievement of a balance between work and private life. We want employees to have quality time outside of the office so that they do not lose their creative drive. Well-established measures that the group has introduced to reduce long overtime work have produced tangible results. Sega set out in 2013 with the intention of ridding the company of crunch by 2020. And if this report holds true, the publisher may be well on its way to achieving this goal.
In August, game-oriented group messaging app Discord announced that it had been working on implementing a digital game store into its platform that it would begin rolling out for testing. Last week, Discord saw the release of the store's beta worldwide. The store is available to all Discord users, and premium Nitro subscribers can access 60 games for free. Discord compared the system to Netflix, but for games. Currently, games purchased on the Discord store must see an internet connection to play, but the company said that an offline mode will be coming soon. A Discord representative told PC Gamer that DRM was completely optional for developers, and that they could opt in or out as they see fit.
In more concerning Discord news, the company also updated their user agreement last week to include an arbitration and class action waiver clause. In a response to negative feedback about the clause, Discord said that it believed that class action lawsuits could be abused and that the company was only trying to protect itself from people looking to do just that. Having that been said, this clause also protects Discord from non-frivolous lawsuits as well, and that can create an opportunity for the company to get off scot-free if they're caught doing something sketchy. Current Discord users have the opportunity to opt out of this clause by emailing arbitration-opt-out@discord.com before January 9th. So we here at Pixel Peak recommend you take a gander and see if that's something you might want to do.
Last week saw the release of the Nintendo Switch adaptation of the DS cult classic RPG, The World Ends With You. The port has seen mixed reviews, but in more concerning news, 25-year-old Italian developer Muster told Kotaku that the Italian translation of the game was suspiciously close to the fan translation that he had made when he was 16. Muster set out to translate the game because of his love for it and his desire to see those who couldn't speak English or Japanese to be able to enjoy it as well. However, when he tuned into a stream of the game after the Switch release, he found that some of the translation was incredibly close to that of his own. He said that some of the phrases had been slightly altered, but that approximately 90% of what he saw mimicked his own work all the way down to the line breaks and speech bubbles. Muster told Kotaku's Gita Jackson, "The best I could hope for is an official acknowledgement of what happened, but I'm happy just in seeing my translation in the official game. I hope it will remain in the game after all. It means they like 90% of my translation."
Countless YouTubers use footage of Epic Games' Fortnite to rack up views on their channel, and some of them choose to promote the use of aimbots and other cheating tools to get an unfair advantage. Two channel owners, Brandon Lucas of Golden Mods and Colton Conter of Eccentric, who both promoted the use of hacking products from goldengods.com, were caught by Epic Games. Not only were they told to take down their videos, but Epic Games filed a lawsuit against them for violating the terms of use, infringing on copyright, and diminishing the integrity of the game. The two will be taken to federal court in the coming weeks, where they will be requested to turn over all their videos and hacks for them to be destroyed.
In a Reddit Ask Me Anything last week, the CEO of Skybound Games, Ian Howe, told fans that the third episode of the final season of The Walking Dead would see release before the end of the year. Howe said, "Given that you guys have been so supportive and patient, I'm going out on a limb and will say yes, I fully expect episode 3 to be this year, and I'll be very disappointed if we can't make that happen." He also said that he was just trying to help the project get over the finish line. Skybound swooped in to try and save the day for The Walking Dead fans after the unexpected closure of the series developer, Telltale Games, last month. However, the project isn't necessarily going as imagined, as Skybound president Dan Murray told Variety earlier this month that the company wouldn't share how much of the original team they would be able to bring on. Howe had previously expressed the sentiment that the game couldn't be properly finished by anyone but the original team.
Those that are thirsty for more Spider-Man content on PS4, you're in luck. Update 1.08, detailed through the PlayStation blog early last week, went live on Friday. The update includes a new Game Plus mode as well as an ultimate difficulty, the hardest of the four now available. Insomniac details that new Game Plus allows players to experience the main story again, this time with all unlocked suits, skills, gadgets, mods, and benchmarks from the previous playthrough. Players can also get their hands on the Heist story DLC that stars Black Cat or the City That Never Sleeps Season Pass, in case Update 1.08 wasn't bulky enough.
Who doesn't like Pokemon? Apparently, former President Barack Obama. The 44th president made the explosive statement in a YouTube video called "President Obama doesn't have time for these 7 excuses not to vote. Buy attention." When read the excuse, "I don't care about politics," he responded with, "Look, I don't care about Pokemon, but that doesn't mean it won't keep coming back." The video has over 150,000 views and received a barrage of distraught comments on Twitter, with Polygon calling the statement heartbreaking, and Nintendo Wire saying the response caused shock and disappointment across the internet. No matter how rudely or maliciously he put it, Obama does have a point. Voting remains crucial with midterm elections quickly approaching on November 6th nationwide, so consider visiting vote.org and casting a ballot if you haven't already.
Completionists rejoiced last Wednesday as one of the most excruciating time-gated achievements, Go Outside, from the Stanley Parable, became obtainable without cheating. The achievement simply reads, "Do not play the game for 5 years," which means that to legitimately get this achievement, one had to play the game when it first released on October 17, 2013, then never play it again, at least until the 5-year period had passed. Stanley Parable's developer, Davey Reedon also made sure to remind everyone of the possibility by linking a screenshot of the achievement on Twitter. As of today, a whopping 7.5% of players now have the achievement, with the rarest achievement for the game being Commitment, which requires players to have the game running 24 hours on any given Tuesday.
We've talked a lot about Discord so far already, but that's because there's lots to talk about. Aside from the ethics of telling customers they aren't allowed to sue you, Discord's announcement of its game marketplace has big implications for the industry. How will Discord rise above the rest, and how will its competitors react? To make a big topic something easier to understand, we're joined by PC analyst Walker Peters. Walker, thank you for coming on.
No problem.
Okay, so first and foremost, Walker, what exactly is Discord doing and what do you think their goal is?
So what Discord's doing is integrating a digital storefront into their chat and voice over internet client service. Now, they are both selling games through Discord and they're offering a premium game library service through Discord Nitro, their subscription model.
Now, with the inclusion of a game marketplace, broadening their horizons from just being a chat client, how are their competitors reacting to this, and who are their main competitors?
Well, of course, their main competitors are, the big one is Steam, but there's also smaller, more dedicated competitors such as Good Old Games, Humble Bundle, and what's the second half of the question?
How are their competitors reacting?
So their competitors haven't reacted yet at all. Discord is much too early in the game of selling games to have made much of an impact yet. It's more about what they will do and what they threaten to other competitors. Steam, of course, has made changes to their social services to resemble Discord more in the hopes of retaining users on Steam instead of them moving to Discord for their social needs.
Okay, so about game marketplaces overall, what are some issues with them?
One of the big ones is DRM. Now, do I need to explain what DRM is?
Please.
So DRM is basically copy protection for games sold online, and it says what criteria you can play the games under. All Steam games have DRM enabled by default, and you can only play them through the Steam client. Good Old Games, on the other hand, prides themselves on all their games being DRM free. Discord has stated that DRM is optional for their developers and they can enable it if they so wish, but it's not necessary. One of the other issues, and the big one from Discord's point of view, I think, is convenience. Steam has all your games in one place, really. They have any game you could want to buy, and so all your games are under one label. Discord is hoping to do a similar thing, but instead of all your games being on label, it's not only all your games, but also all your chats and all your voice chats and all of your social stuff.
All right.
So speaking of convenience, I heard that Discord is actually offering indie games and a first on Discord, which means that they'll show up on Discord first. So how is that going? Are there any opinions on that yet?
So Discord has opted not to go for exclusive, but instead to try and draw users by offering games on Discord before they can go to other platforms. I think this is a great option for indie developers who may want to try and garner some extra attention in the competitive gaming market, but it's really going to take a while to see just how it plays out.
All right, so how do you think this will impact Nitro membership?
Well, right now, previous Nitro subscribers have been given free upgraded Discord Nitro for, I believe, 2 years, and currently, you also have the option of paying a reduced Nitro fee to keep only the premium chat members. I believe that Nitro is certainly more appealing now that there are games in the equation, and I'm looking more towards it than I was before the games were introduced.
And is Discord trying to be an exclusive games platform?
I don't think they're trying to be so much an exclusive games platform as they are trying to be a main platform for PC users. Instead of having to launch several different applications to manage your games, chats, and everything else, they're trying to be one central application that any PC user can launch on startup and access whatever they want from that, going more for convenience instead of exclusivity.
Do you think this will draw a reaction from competitors? Or?
Well, competition's always good for business. What interests me most is the offer of a subscription-based gaming library. Now, that's something we don't really see as much in PC. Of course, Xbox has their equivalent. PlayStation Now isn't too far from it, but that's really is something we haven't seen from PC gaming, and I'm really interested in where that could lead.
So speaking of leading in PC gaming, I know Steam has all of these sales that they have every so often. What do you think Discord is going to do to kind of compete with that?
So Steam can afford to do that because they are so big. Discord can't afford that same luxury because their game selection is a lot more limited. So one thing I've noticed them doing, especially with their Nitro and First on Discord games, is focusing a lot on multiplayer. Discord, of course, being a chat client, enables them to focus a lot more on what you'd think of as traditional couch multiplayer games, maybe, party games. And that's something Steam sort of lacks. Not that it can't do that, but that it might not be as well integrated as with a chat service like Discord.
Well, thank you for coming on. Once again, PC analyst Walker Peters.
Glad to be here.
Now let's hand it over to Logan Berg for his review of the blockbuster title, Call of Duty Black Ops 4.
Hey there, I'm Logan Berg. Reload, regroup, and stay frosty because my review of Call of Duty Black Ops 4 is inbound. Call of Duty Black Ops 4 is the latest in the long-running Call of Duty franchise published by Activision and the 7th entry from developer Treyarch. Black Ops 4 released on October 12th on PC, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One. With as many games in the series as Call of Duty has, many people no doubt have some familiarity with it. However, Black Ops 4 has made waves on its own accord, notably by its exclusion of a campaign mode, long a staple of Call of Duty. Instead, this newest release has carved itself out a spot as a strange sort of 3 games in one, putting equal emphasis on its 3 core modes: traditional multiplayer, battle royale style blackout, and zombies. Let's start off with the most recognizable element of the game, its standard multiplayer. As we come to expect, the multiplayer comes with a variety of game modes, from your run-of-the-mill team deathmatch to the more objective focus control. And of course, there's class customization, allowing you to pick primary and secondary weapons, attachments, perks, and different sorts of special equipment. But let's talk changes. Perhaps most noticeable is a fleshed out specialist system, giving you a special ability and an ultimate, depending on which of the 10 characters you select. I personally enjoyed Firebreak, who could deny enemy camping by literally engaging a nuclear reactor and burning them with radiation. The radiation passes through walls and actually prevents healing. Speaking of which, manual healing makes its debut in multiplayer, adding an interesting system of health management to the game's chaos. And I do mean chaos. That was my continual impression of multiplayer, from the constant abilities to the tight maps. Matches feel almost suffocating, which is great for encouraging non-stop action, but it also serves to be heavily frustrating. You can spawn in the midst of gunfire. The enemy team can call in air support that just kills you over and over again. And then, when you finally get a second to breathe, some insane ultimate ability just insta-kills you. The learning curve of identifying what is even happening at points annoyed me, especially compared to how decent the game felt when I had a normal firefight. Blackout mode, on the other hand, was the complete opposite. Hailed as a AAA take on the wildly popular Battle Royale format, Blackout takes the general concept of a wide, gradually enclosing map and injects in the core gameplay from Call of Duty. It's simply the best Battle Royale experience I've ever had, although when the competition consists mostly of janky, structurally unstable games, the bar's not that high. It fits in a sweet spot for me, with the more serious military tone of something like PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, and the polish of Fortnite. The map itself falls in this valley as well, melding a sort of normal setting with various past Call of Duty maps stitched onto it. Asylum, easily the wackiest location, even has zombies as a looming threat. And to traverse the sprawling map, you've got options. Mobility is a key feature of the game as a whole, but Blackout is where it shines. Sure, you can sprint, and yeah, you can do a running slide that'll become an integral part of your movement, but there's vehicles too, from ATVs to helicopters. And even further, you have things like grappling hooks, allowing you to unpredictably jump on your enemies from afar. Getting the jump on your enemies is vital, and having that chance to actually think before I engage allowed me to pull off some satisfying plays. Preparation, whether by finding the right loot, or activating a temporary perk, or setting up your sights, feels like a welcome pace for multiplayer madness. The only real complaint I have is the inventory system. The UI design itself is at best ugly and at worst a major pain. Looting locks you into place, and clicking through items as opposed to dragging and dropping it however you please seems like a severe step back from how every other Battle Royale manages it. It's frustrating to be tapping escape trying to exit the menu while someone jumps on you. But if you thought escaping an inventory screen was rough, wait till you try to escape a zombie-infested Titanic. Zombie mode returns, but in a stronger position than ever, boasting a new story and a new cast of heroes in addition to the old guard. United to stop a mysterious chaos cult, your characters find themselves assailed by both an iceberg and an insatiable horde of the undead. Only by firm teamwork can you escape the sinking Titanic. And luckily, bots make their debut to assist if need be. I found them surprisingly competent, though I question why they can buy doors, but seemingly won't repair windows. With them, I traversed the ship, found keys, parts, and various abominations. I feel like I've barely scratched the surface of Easter eggs and hidden puzzles on the Titanic, much less the other 2 available maps. Even the overt features are things I'm wrapping my head around. Mirroring cola perks and past iterations, the new cast enjoy godly powers. Running as a preset class, I unlocked the ability to summon a fire-blasting gun and a literal sword. Opening class creation was boggling, with elixirs, talismans, special weapons, perks galore. And that's just yourself. With custom mutations, you could tweak the matches just as much, offering a great deal of replayability. At the end of the day, that was my lasting impression of Black Ops 4. A game chock full of varied content, 3 distinct games rolled into one overarching hub of solid gameplay. While multiplayer fell flat for me, the addition of Blackout and the empowerment of zombies are changes I wholeheartedly welcome. Now, I doubt most people will love every mode, and I can see them drifting into separate communities over time, but I think there's enough content in each mode to leave you playing for quite a while. Call of Duty Black Ops 4 is a solid experience for anyone who could appreciate decent gunplay and interesting game modes.
That was Call of Duty Black Ops 4, a solid game with a healthy dose of chaos, both of the Warzone and zombie cult variety. Now to Kristen for Editorial.
Even though digital distribution of video games has been around as early as the 1980s with GameLine, streaming games from an online server to a gaming platform using remote play is a relatively new idea. We've grown to call the process cloud gaming. Several services across all platforms have started to gain traction, with a few starting up in 2018. Is this just another bandwagon movement like PlayStation Move and Xbox Connect? Or is the future of how we play video games really all in the cloud? A lot of signs point to cloud gaming being the next big thing. The first widely advertised cloud gaming service was Sony's PlayStation Now, which debuted in 2015 and is still available today. But as many PS Now subscribers have made clear, the service is still far from perfect 3 years later. Even though it provides a nice selection of PlayStation 2, 3, and 4 games, remotely controlling games over an internet connection brings light to a few problems. The availability of internet speeds capable of remote play today is scarce enough, and even those with fast internet have reported latency issues. For games like Street Fighter that require split-second reaction times, any amount of delay between pressing a button or moving an analog stick and the movement on screen has the potential to cost the player the match. Worst of all, if players lose connection to the internet, PlayStation Now will automatically close their games, causing subscribers to lose any progress they made since they last saved. Something more immediate and positive, however, is Google's development in cloud gaming with Project Stream, an experimental feature of their Chrome internet browser. From now until January, the feature allows approved users to play the brand new Assassin's Creed Odyssey in 1080p at 60 frames per second, with no download necessary. Google describes the project as a technical test to solve some of the biggest challenges of streaming. But those accepted to the program have reported frequent stuttering and slight input lag, and even some of the same client issues that PlayStation Now subscribers experience with games closing and changing quality. So even though Google Chrome may not be replacing your home console anytime soon, it's certainly possible that Google's methods for high-quality game streaming could be realized and make their way to consoles in the near future. Despite a bright-looking future, game streaming services that exist today still have a long way to go. But recent moves by big companies make streaming look promising when faster, more stable internet connection becomes the norm. Gamefly, the video game rental company, just recently sold their cloud gaming technology to publishing titan Electronic Arts at the beginning of August. Since then, EA has announced a cloud gaming service through their Origin client on PC. Microsoft and Nintendo have also hopped on the cloud gaming train with Xbox and Switch. Microsoft announced Project xCloud earlier this month, a streaming service that lets you play Xbox One games on your mobile device. And since the Switch is already a mobile device, Nintendo has been experimenting with streaming in a different way, by playing games that can't run natively on the Switch's hardware. Games like Resident Evil 7 and Assassin's Creed Odyssey have both been streaming to Switch, but only in Japan so far. Since Project xCloud has yet to release and Nintendo's game streaming is only available in one region, it's hard to say how big of an impact these services will have on the way people play video games. What can be said, though, is that internet connections are only getting faster. With the development of fiber optic Ethernet, 5G signals, and ever-progressing Wi-Fi connections, internet speeds are increasing exponentially and rolling out across the world. As blazing fast internet becomes more and more available, cloud gaming becomes a more viable option for both consumers and publishers. Using cloud gaming saves physical drive space on game systems, and it generates more revenue for distributors by getting users to pay a subscription fee instead of a set price per game. So, whether you plan on playing the next AAA title on the big screen at home or on your phone in your local coffee shop, get ready to fork over the cash for your future internet bills, because cloud gaming subscription services are making their way everywhere, and soon.
Wow, this was a busy episode. Lots of important stories with drastic implications on the game industry, especially that Obama story. Can you believe it? Who doesn't like Pokemon?
Take it easy, Bobby. Not everyone can be as perfect as you.
You're right. But you know what they can be? Followers on Twitter. You can follow us at Pixel Peak App TV, and now we're also on Facebook. Just search Pixel Peak and smash that like button.
While you're there, give App TV's Facebook page a like, and then head over to our YouTube channel to subscribe. If you want to watch new Pixel Peak episodes live, you can tune into any of these channels at 4 p.m. on Wednesdays, or watch it premiere on YouTube later that day at 4:15.
Shoutouts to all our cast members, including writers Tanner Mazzell and Max Stein, reviewers Logan Berg, analyst Walker Peters, associate producer Kyle Presley, and producer Will Strickland.
Thank you all for watching, and we hope you enjoyed your stay on Pixel Peak.